All right, so I want to just drop in, give a quick update. Third week after my 24th birthday, I just released a song called Type of Man on Friday. I started promoting it on Friday, shared it with everybody I know. I decided to release it on Friday because I guess that's the industry standard. And there's a few reasons for that, but I guess I won't go into it now. But there's a reason why they released it Friday at like 12 a.m., so basically Thursday night. I thought I would follow the trend. To be honest, I don't think it got as much engagement as I thought it would on a Friday. I thought Friday would have actually been better. But it turns out after I shared it, it doesn't look like there was the same amount of engagement as previous songs that I've posted on, like, honestly, just whatever days that I released the song. Like, if I had a song ready, I uploaded it and I pretty much set the release date for the next day. And then I just promoted it whenever it came out. I wasn't really keen on getting it out on Fridays, but this time I thought I'd try something different. It didn't go as planned in a sense that maybe I had set my expectations way too high and thought like, oh, because I'm releasing on Friday, it's gonna somehow pop off or somehow it's gonna give me a much better result than what I've been previously doing because I'm following an industry standard. But that's not the case. So it's a learning process. I'll have to, I guess, make sure that I read a bit deeper into my audience itself and see like what days they're most active. And honestly, it's not even a bad thing that I did release on Friday. My next songs I can release on Friday, but it's more so the work that'll come afterwards. Meaning, if I'm going to promote it, I have to now promote it throughout the following weeks that come now. So I can't just say, all right, I posted for 2, 3 days, that's enough, and now move on and work on the next song. Like, yes, work on the next song, work on new music, but at the same time, I can't just shelf this song that I've worked hard on, right? I've worked on mixing it, producing it, whatever. I need to promote it. And although there's something inside of me that's saying, man, this is like, I feel like it's so annoying, just the same song over and over and over again. Like people have seen it. But the problem is that not everybody has seen it. There's a potential listener who hasn't heard my music yet. And for them, I have to go through the process of, religiously posting over and over again, reminding them that, hey, this is my music, this is who I am, it's out there for you. So this will come in different avenues, whether that would be YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. I talked with a friend who owns a restaurant franchise, and so obviously he has to be on social media a lot, and he focuses on marketing a lot. And I told him about the fact that I feel like on Friday it got less engagement. And he was just saying like, yeah, you just have to be a bit more consistent with it, because I'll post when I release a song for a couple of days, and then after that I go ghost, make a song, and then come out again. Well, that's fine, but then I can't complain about the fact that I'm not getting more people listening if I'm not putting an effort to make them listen. It can't just be good music, right? Good music is what will get them there, but for them to even walk in the door and see the catalog I have to show them that, hey, I exist. So yeah, he just said consistency, and then he also said like, honestly, he only uses Instagram posts as a way of showing his brand. So like his restaurant brand, the aesthetic, where he gets most of his engagement and more people to actually join or learn about his restaurant, maybe reach out to more people, is through his Instagram reels and things like that. So I'm assuming it's pretty much going to be the same for me or any other business you're doing. Your posts are more so for people who maybe just first encounter your page and they want to see what you're about, or people who are already following you. But if you actually want to grow, I'm going to have to focus on, making content that will reach larger audiences. So I guess for like a few days, or I was a little bummed. I'm like, and surprised. I didn't think it got as much engagement as I thought it would. But yeah, I can't be too emotional about it, or I can't let it, stop me from being persistent and marketing, because that is what will actually fix the problem. I can sit here and complain about, man, it's not getting, like, I spent so much time on this song, or I spent this amount of hours recording, writing, whatever, and it's not getting out to people. But then if I'm objectively speaking and being brutally honest with myself, do I deserve to have people listen to my music if I'm not even making an effort to get it out to them in the first place? You know, I'm expecting for some miracle to happen, but for that miracle to happen, I have to shoot my shot, and that is being consistent with pushing out my music to other people. So yeah, it sucks that I can't just focus on my music, but at the end of the day, it's a creative process itself, right? Like I get to show people what I'm about. This is like now me cultivating more of a brand as opposed to just my music. And that's equally as important, I believe, if you're an artist, is sort of the story you're able to convey to people, get them to buy into who you are. And that's what this process is going to be now. This is a teaching moment or a learning moment for me. And yeah, I just have to bounce up from it and be like, okay, some new challenges in my face. How am I going to overcome it? And then get my music out. So that being said, I think another one of the worries I did have was when I was posting, or I am going to post, it's like I'm not just competing with other artists. I'm competing with fashion brands. I'm competing with like sports updates. I'm competing with food, like food channels, food accounts, travel accounts, other influencers. I'm competing with everybody that's on the internet. And what I mean by compete is I'm competing for attention. Like, how can I release content that will make somebody want to stop and actually view it before scrolling? And I know that sounds very obvious, but when you really think about the amount of content that people are consuming on a daily basis and how quick it is, to even be able to grasp the attention of somebody for 5 to 10 seconds is a pretty hard thing to do, because people just have their feed filled with so much different stuff. Some people's, or most people's reels are very niche to like their sense of humor, their style, their fashion, the things that they're into. And even if I do manage to break into their feed, how can I make something that will be like, okay, let me stop and actually see what this is about? It has to be intriguing enough. And so I'm competing with basically everybody who's posting stuff. So that's also something I have to come to terms with, is set my expectations and recognize that I'm not just competing with other artists. You know, sometimes I might fall into the trap and be like, man, like I feel like my music is getting better and I'm working at my music and I feel like I'm bringing raw, genuine emotion or just having fun with my music, and I feel like it's translating to the listener, to the people I share with. But then when I post something and it doesn't capture as many engagement or clicks or whatever as I thought it would, I convince myself that maybe my music isn't as good as this person's music or this person's music. And one, music is subjective. So that kind of defeats the purpose of making that comparison. And two, it could just be that I just couldn't grab their attention. Maybe they would like the song, but I just couldn't grab their attention for the split second that they scrolled and maybe encountered my reel. And that's on me, right? Like, I have to try my best to make something that's intriguing. And that's a way of kind of doing a service to my music, because what's the point of spending hard, earn money on the music, time, resources, if I'm not going to be out there pushing it and promoting it and wearing it on my chest and being like, yeah, this is me. Like, this is my music, check me out, right? If you like it, cool. If you don't, they're going to keep scrolling anyways. So yeah, I have to cut through the noise and somehow stand out in an online landscape right now, which I feel like is just, it's crazy. Because the past couple of days I've hopped back on Instagram, like on my phone, because I need to obviously post a song. I promoted it a bit, reached out, messaged friends, whatever it is. So I had to get the app on my phone. Normally I don't have it on my phone. I just go on the internet, on my laptop, and view it there. But I've noticed that now that I have it back on my phone, I notice how much time it's taking away from me, myself. Forget about trying to cut through and reach other people. to promote my music. Even myself, it's like I find myself scrolling and consuming content when realistically I shouldn't be. So I'm not going to beat myself up over the fact that I'm starting to do that, because I'm also proud of the fact that I'm able to somewhat control it a lot better than before. I don't scroll as much and I'm more cautious of it. But one thing that it is teaching me, I guess, to view it in a positive light is when I'm scrolling, what sort of content is sticking out to me? What makes me want to stay? Because if I'm being honest, some of the stuff I'm posting, it's like, if this was posted by somebody else, I wouldn't even stay on it for like 2 seconds. I just scroll right down. So how can I expect other people to give me the time of day if I myself wouldn't do that if I was in somebody else's shoes? So it's also giving me perspective as to like, okay, as a consumer, what would they want? What would make them stay and maybe engage with the post, things like that. So I obviously have to brainstorm. There's going to be a bunch of trial and error. And yeah, it's honestly just going through the motion, because as I get the reps in, I'll get better and better at it. I'll understand, okay, this works, this doesn't work, and I'll just get better at making content or promoting my music. And yeah, that's honestly where it is in terms of like where the music stands for this month. I think I want to just focus on that, like promoting that song. And then if I feel, like at night I have 10, 20 minutes, I'll use that for writing. And then the other time I'll use for promoting my music, figuring out creative ways I can promote it. And in a world now where I feel like quantity is king, meaning people say post every day, you have to be consistent, every day you have to post, post, post. I'm trying to also find a balance between that quantity and also quality, because yeah, if I'm just posting for the sake of posting, it goes back to the thing like, who is really going to stop and view it if I'm not putting real quality into the stuff I'm doing? I'm not saying I need to be some crazy editor. I need to spend hours and hours on a single piece of content, but bring some excitement into it and bring some energy into it. Don't just half-ass it and be like, all right, this is all I want to come up with today. I'll throw it out there. What happens, happens. Like, yeah, some days when I don't have the time, it doesn't hurt to just make a quick piece of content that didn't require much work, and maybe it won't get me a lot of engagement, but if it goes to like 1 or 2 people, cool. On some days that's okay, but then on other days I want to learn to, because I feel like I'm finding joy in it, I want to learn to like make content that presents me like, yeah, this is me, this is who I am, this is my artistic vision, or this is my brand, this is my personality. So I want to spend time in doing that, because I think that's equally important, as I said. And so one approach I've kind of come to realize that might work is separating the different platforms for different use cases. So meaning YouTube right now, the stuff I'm doing right now, documenting my progress, just honestly documenting my life. It's not always like, I'm not really on here promoting my music, or I'm not saying, I'm in the studio this. I'm not really recording me in the studio for YouTube. YouTube is more of like a personal diary or like documentation. And I'm not even making this so that other people can see it. It's honestly just for myself. But this can serve as a platform where I kind of document my journey, have like vlogs, or just something to bring, I guess, a more realistic approach to who I am as an artist. And this is where maybe people can see a bit into how my mind is working, where I'm at mentally, sort of the way I'm approaching my music career on the back end. So things that I won't openly say on other platforms, I want to do on YouTube, because I've already started doing it with the past like 2-3 videos. So maybe YouTube will be, that's the purpose that YouTube will serve for me or my brand. And then, for example, TikTok, I'm still figuring out TikTok and how I want to approach it. But as a user, to me, it feels like TikTok is more of like a personal, you get to show a lot more of your personality. And I find that that's what sticks to people. So if there's certain songs that just, like make me dance, it doesn't even have to be my own music, just sharing that. sharing a good time I have listening to music, when I'm out with friends, something stupid I film, like just more of my personality and who I am, because I think it'd be a pretty boring artist if all you did was just sit in your room, record, all right, next song, record, all right, next song, record. Like, where's the life to your brand? Where's the life to you, who you are, right? Like, people want something to relate to. And if the only thing I show them is my music and how I'm always in the studio, it's like, what do you have to relate to me with? So yeah, just I guess use TikTok as one promoting and also just showing more of who I am, right? Being a charismatic person comes fairly easy to me in person, but who's to say I can't bring that charisma into sort of an online platform? But that's stuff I have to definitely work on and figure out, brainstorm a little bit more about how I'm going to approach that. And the last platform will be, I think, Instagram's I wouldn't say biggest platform, but I think Instagram at a point right now is it's it's really like a facade, as in everybody on Instagram just has their best. You obviously have your highlights on there. You don't really get to see that personal stuff I was talking about with YouTube or TikTok. Instagram is kind of like everybody's highlight reel. That's where, like, if somebody opens it, like, this is what you do, this is your brand. They don't really care about, who you are, maybe behind the scenes, or like your personality as much. I feel like Instagram is more like professional, or it's a facade, right? It's like, if I'm an artist, like, this is my brand, this is the post I make once a month or once a week. Like, this is what I've done throughout my week. I post a bunch of cool pictures about where I've been, what I'm doing, but you kind of just see it through the pictures, right? You don't know actually what's going on behind the scenes and what I'm doing, things like that. And also, when I come across somebody's, for example, Instagram, and you check out their Instagram and they have a personal brand, you kind of get a look into their life and be like, all right, this is what this person's about. This is their vibe. Cool. This is what type of artist they might be. And so I think that's where, like my friend who owns a restaurant said, like, that's where they kind of build their brand aesthetic and things like that. So that's honestly, I feel like I have been doing that through my music account. I don't really post too much personal stuff on there, anyways, or like jokes or things like that. I just send them directly to my friends. My music Instagram, I only really use it for sharing my brand, sharing pictures of where I've been. Like, for example, a month has gone by. I've been working on this song, all the things I've been doing, I post it. And it has some sort of like visually appealing set of photos or things like that. More so just building your brand. And I think I've done a fairly good job at that in terms of my post. But now the biggest thing I have to focus on is reels for sure, because that's how I'll reach people outside of just everyone I already know. Um, so I say that's where Instagram is going to come into play. And yeah, that's really about it. I thought I'd just come on here and talk about the music stuff because that's what's been on my mind. And yeah, in terms of other aspects, going to the gym regularly, that's been a good thing. I'm going to continue that. And I found that, like, I was talking to my brother about this earlier. I found that, like, whenever I go into the gym and I'm like on point in the gym, meaning like I'm relentless with my training, or just like more aggressive with my training, and just like fierce, and I just kind of want to get the best workout I can in, leave it all on the floor. It translates into the other aspects of my life. So when I come home from a workout like that, I feel more, I feel just like ready to take on the day. So that's something I have to kind of keep up. Um, so yeah, that's mostly it in terms of the gym, physical health, mental health. I think I'm fine, to be honest. Things come and go, things happen, something shows up, maybe throws me off track for a bit. I see something I'm not supposed to, have a conversation that maybe wasn't ideal with somebody, but you go to sleep, wake up the next day, and then can't really think about it much because shit has to get done. So mentally, yeah, I say I'm good. Spiritually, I think I probably have the most development spiritually in this past year than I've ever had in my entire life. I think I was talking to my brother about it as well, where the place I'm in right now, everything that's happened so far in this past year and a half, everything that has went my way or hasn't went my way, I wouldn't change a thing. I genuinely think that everything that's happened to me or is happening to me, all the delays and results that I'm hoping for despite me working hard at them, is to teach me something, and it's to make me grow and build me stronger. Because there's no guarantees that every time I work hard and work at something, I'm going to get the result I want. And I think this year is teaching me that regardless of what the results are, I have to get up the next day and give 120% each day. Each day without beating myself up over the fact that the results aren't coming. It's like, all right, the results didn't come. How can I wake up the next day, maybe change my approach and go at it better, right? So yeah, I'm consistently doing that, and I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm not really stressed about something not coming my way, going south, an opportunity I didn't get, my music didn't hit, it didn't catch some algorithm. Everything is happening for a reason, and I truly believe that. It's to teach me something. And that's the approach I'm going to take for as long as I honestly need to, and continue to have faith that everything is happening for a reason. It's building me into the person I need to be, because who knows? I might have to work for several years and not see a result right away, and I have to be okay with that. But that doesn't mean I just stop and give up. Just be consistent and have faith that in one way or another, it'll work out. That's pretty much it. I don't want to make this too long. It's already at like 22 minutes. But I guess one thing to leave in terms of focus, something I want to focus on this next week, I think it'll be training hard at the gym, approaching it like I want to leave everything on the floor every morning when I finish my workout. And then when I come home, I want to bring that same intensity, I would say, into my meditation and really start focusing a lot more and connecting with God. I know the whole point of meditation is not so that you're perfect. You slowly but surely learn to control your mind a lot more. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I just want to focus on getting stronger meditations in and truly connecting with God. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Peace.